Hey, and welcome to Fit Me Turo Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in, and now let's jump into today's episode. Hey, and welcome back to Fit Me Turo Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Turo Virta, and today we are talking about a big one: how to enjoy your summer without gaining weight or losing all the progress you have worked so hard for. This is a topic that comes up every year, especially with my clients, women between 35 and 55 who have been building healthy habits and feeling stronger, leaner, and more in control. But when holidays, barbecues, traveling, and cocktails come around, suddenly it's a panic time. And here's what I want to say right at the beginning. You don't need to be afraid of summer. You don't need to restrict, compensate, or punish yourself. You need a strategy. And that's what I'm going to give you in this episode. So if you are worried about how to navigate all the social events, the restaurant meals, the change in routine, having some barbecues, some drinks outside, you are in the right place. So let's jump in. So number one is I like to keep it this in 8-9 most valuable tips. And some of these are, maybe you have heard of them, but maybe if there is even one thing that comes to your mind that, oh, this is actually a great idea, please start implementing it right away. And thinking like that, of course, we understand that you might forget this. You might, so write it down. If your vacation, if you are at the moment in vacation, you are going to go very soon, write it down somewhere. So you have your checklist, 1, 2, 3 things, not more than 3. Don't try to get all of them right. But if there's 1 to 3 things, write them down. Try to remember, do them most of the time. This is not perfection. You will forget most likely. If you are human, you are not some robot, you will forget these things. But think that it's not all or nothing. It's all about doing something. And that comes to our first point. And that is let go of all or nothing thinking. Because the most important mindset shift. Summer is not a threat to your progress. It's a season. It's a part of your. So if you try to be 100% perfect, you will burn out. If you give up completely, you will feel like you failed. So neither of them works in a long term. So what we want is flexibility with structure. So a way to have a wine on a terrace, gelato with your kids, and still feel like you are in control. So instead of thinking, I'm either on track or off the rails, ask yourself, what is the one thing I can keep doing no matter what? So there could be so many things, like we go later on those things, but think, what is the one thing I can keep doing no matter what? And next question, second question is that how can I turn this into 7 out of 10 effort instead of all or nothing? So this is kind of balance what we want. So if you think that I can't have any alcohol, I can't have any sweets, I can't have any desserts, and if you think that, okay, you are maybe able to keep that all in thinking, but then at some point when you get into it, you eat those things, then you are like that, okay, now I fucked it up. So what is the point anymore even trying? So ask, how can I turn this into a 7 out of 10 effort? So then point number 2 is set 3 non-negotiables for the week. So if you are on vacation, if you are enjoying your summer, so before a holiday or busy weeks, this is just an example. I love to ask from my clients before holiday or busy weeks. So what are your 3 non-negotiables? And these are all small habits that keep you grounded. So for example, drink 2 to 3 liters per day. And more precise you are, what is your goal? That is more accurate you will be. So it's not just that I drink more water. It have to be precise. And one of my favorite strategies with the water is that I tell, for example, 3 liters. Now it's when it, especially in summer, I recommend it's rather 3 liters or even more. But good way to keep you yourself accountable is that if you have a water bottle, if it's a half-liter water bottle, you put 6 rubber bands around it, and then end of the day you remove every time one band when you finish your bottle, and when you refill it, then you have 6 bottles to drink. You get your 3 days, 3 liters. And this is like with my clients. This week, I actually did it with some of them, and they were like that. I answers what I got, that I thought that I'm drinking enough, but then when you started to keep track of it, then they were like, oh, I thought I was drinking much, but in the end, it was not even close to those 3 liters. So it's often we overestimate those things if we don't keep some track, and this is just a simple way to keep yourself on track. Then other example, walk 7,000 steps. It don't have to be 10,000. It can be, of course, 10,000, but to set some kind of walking, some step goal, what you can do even in your busiest week. And then third thing, for example, could be to have protein at breakfast. And if you want to be more precise, amount of protein, let's say that I want to have at least 20 grams, 25 grams of protein at my breakfast. And then you can move forward, like what are going to be your protein sources and so on. So you know exactly what you can do. And then you have your 3 non-negotiables for the week. So you don't need to be perfect with everything. But if you can keep up 2 or 3 core habits in place, you will feel like you are still showing up for yourself, even when the rest of your schedule changes. And then point number 3 is use most days rule. So progress doesn't come from one day or one meal. It comes from what you do most days. So enjoy the occasional croissant, have a cocktail, but also remember that you can start your day with a walk, order a salad with protein, skip the second glass of wine. So none of these things are about restriction. They are about balance. Think it like this way, that how can I make this day 80% aligned with my goals while still enjoying the 20%? So this is often a question, right? Because we have these self-talks all the time. Try to ask yourself, what would be a person with my goals decide in these situations? And like I said, if you have 80%, you hit the decisions, or you make smarter decisions, what a person with your goals would decide in every single moment. You are creating that balance while working towards your goals and not against your goals. So, and then point number 4, and this is, I think, a very, very helpful way of thinking. And it's eat like you do at home most of the time. So one simple trick that works incredibly well. So when you are traveling, pretend you are still at home 70 to 80% of the time. So what would you eat for breakfast at home? And how would you build your plate if you were eating lunch at work or at home? And that doesn't mean that you can try new foods or enjoy the treats. It just means that you are staying anchored in your routine. So when you get home, it doesn't feel like you are starting over. And good way for me, for example, like, okay, if I'm traveling, I'm in hotel, my way of thinking, of course, I don't have same breakfast always as I do home. I like to also try different things. But for me, in holidays when I go, my first thought is, how do I get my protein? How do I get my protein goals? What are my sources of protein? I eat those first. I try to make sure to eat at least 2 pieces of fruit, what I do also at home. And I will eat those things first. And then after that, if I still want to try some cake or from buffet something what I usually don't have, then I give myself permission to do it. But the reason behind it I eat first the most beneficial, the most satiating nutrients, protein, fiber, and then after that, if I go for some sweets or something, I likely eat a lot less if I would eat them in the beginning when I'm still hungry. So this way, I'm allowing it everything what I want, but the chance is that I will eat 5 pieces of cake. What I could literally do if I would start with the cake, a lot lower than when I start eating protein and fiber and all kind of low calorie, high volume foods like Greek yogurt or those kind of things that my stomach is already feeling full before I eat all those kind of good stuff. Then tip number 5 is snack smarter or not at all. So holidays often come with grazing. So if you are on the pool, there are some chips. You are eating snacks at the beach, pastries in the hotel lobby. So here's what I suggest for snacking. So don't just snack because it's there. Snack if you are hungry. So one good way to do it is to using apple test or simple 3-minute rule test. So apple test, I don't know, maybe you have heard about it, but ask yourself a question. Am I hungry enough to eat an apple? If the answer is yes, eat that apple first and then uh, eat whatever you want. If not, then it's probably just a craving or you are bored or whatever. So there is just some emotional eating. And then if you are not quite sure, the best way, the second addition is to set the timer, wait for 3 minutes, and then see if you still want to have it or not, to give time for second thoughts. And then, of course, like another way to do it is to try to snack. If you are snacking, then pack high protein or high fiber snacks like Greek yogurt, boiled eggs, fruits, almonds, those kind of things. Like what you would say that these are actually good foods, what my body actually needs. So try to snack, be a little bit smarter with your snacking. Then tip number 6 is to stay active, but keep it simple. So you don't need to find a gym on holiday. You don't need to do 60-minute workouts. Walk more, swim, do a quick 15-minute body weight workout. Because I like to say that vacation movement is about maintenance, not progression. And it's often time to do those things what you naturally enjoy. Like, once you are keeping your habits alive and not trying to set some new records or personal bests. So it changes so much that your mindset when you are thinking that, okay, I'm not even trying to make some progress because I'm here to maintain everything. And that for maintenance, you don't need to do a lot. It's just literally a couple minute body weight workout. You are able to maintain your muscle mass, even if it's only for a week. Even you don't do anything, it's totally fine. Sometimes your body needs a break, but of course it depends all about your situation. But and if you have a chance, often vacations are best times to walk more, go for a swim. Like that's one of my best ways. Like in the morning, if I'm in somewhere in a hot place, there is a chance to swim. It's a 15-minute, 30-minute swim. You feel so great. You have done something, and it's just not all about laying. But of course, we are all different. We have all different preferences, what to do. Someone who is in a highly active whole year just want to lay down, read a book, whatever, and not be active at all. But and which is also fine. But it's just staying active, but keeping it simple is very, very good way of thinking. Then tip number 7 is to plan your indulgences. So if you know you are going out for dinner or there is a special dessert you want to try, don't panic. It's just plan for it. So one of them, like, I don't like to, like I said, don't try to, you don't need to compensate anything or do something. But if you know that there is a big dessert, okay, one of the best ways is to actually, like, this is for social events, is often people think that, oh, I have to skip all the meals before I enter to the event. But often it's just eating something before that you are not completely starving when you show up. So having some fruit, having some protein before you show up to that event. If it's a dinner, if it's a dessert, don't panic. It's part of the life. You can have a bit lighter earlier in the day, like a big salad with some protein. You are staying hydrated. You go for a walk after the meal, not some punishing, but just some light movement. And because the goal isn't to compensate, like I said, it's the goal. The goal is always to enjoy without guilt and get right back to your habits afterward, not trying to say, not compensating that now I can't have a breakfast. I have to start skipping meals, because those things, if you start to do those things, it often leads that it leads to another cravings, another kind of collapses or binge things. And this is not that is not the goal. The goal is to get back on track. You can eat a bit less if you want, but don't completely skip meals or start to compensate. Then tip number 8 is that progress isn't measured by the scale. So scale might go up during a trip, but that doesn't mean you have gained fat. Often the weight gain is water retention from salty foods, alcohol, extra carbs, or less movement. So don't let that 1 to 2 kilo jump trick into you thinking that I have failed. What matters is how quickly you get back to your habits and how you feel. And then last thing, but not least, is an alcohol. Like, this is often in holidays, and like we have been talking with my clients. Of course, some people like to have a little bit more alcohol during the holiday, which is totally fine. But especially if you don't usually drink alcohol, or if you like in summer season, overall you find yourself that it's class there, another event there, and end of the week you find out that, oh, I nothing happens. And this was actually yesterday talk with one of my coaching clients, and she was asking like that what I'm doing wrong, like that I'm not able to lose weight. But and I asked, and we keep talking, and I asked that what do you think is your biggest problem? And we found out that she actually might have been drinking way too much. And so it was not like that to get like literally drunk, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes even more drinks per day. And that is every single day. So and if you think that how many calories you are drinking, how it's that not only calories, but how it's impacting to your sleep. And of course, then when you drink alcohol, your sleep quality won't be even close to the same than without alcohol, even if it's a small amount. Then how is that affecting again? You are going to have less energy next day. You are going to move less. Your food choices are going to be not the best ones, or not that you don't have willpower. So it affects to everything. So what we did instead, and what you might consider, is to actually be accountable for someone. Like, my client decided that she will report me every single day. Other option, of course, you could write notes that how many drinks you have had. And example, it depends, of course. Think like with my client, we decided to create simple rules. Like for her, first goal was to have 2 days in a week without alcohol. So it's always where you are. If you are drinking every day, start with like we started 2 days without alcohol. Then I was asking that what do you think that how many portions per week you could have, or how many portions per day at the most you could have, or you would say that it was not too much. And for her, where we are starting is that never more than 4 portions per day. So then I asked that what you say then that weekly goal that we have, what we have set now is 2 days without alcohol, and then on the other hand, not more than 4 portions or 4 glasses of wine or beer or whatever in day. I said that leaves you 5 days with 4. So you have a 20 portions. Oh, that's too much. But then we decided that, okay, it's going to be then 15 portions per week. And it might sound for someone that that's a lot. But it's depends where you are coming from, what your goals are, to not to try to like cause those things to cut everything off. That's she knew she had tried it more than enough, and that is not going to work in the long term. Then now she have accountability. She keeps herself accountable to someone and stop trying. Like her biggest goal was to stop lying to herself and talk herself out of it and not thinking about it, because those things often we are very good. So that was episode. So to wrap it up, summer doesn't have to derail you. You don't have to start over in September. With little intention, flexible structure, and self-compassion, you can enjoy your summer and stay on track. If this episode helped you, please share it with a friend or leave a quick review. It means a word and helps more people to discover the show. And thank you so much for those who have already leave it. And if you need any help, check out my website or reach out to my Instagram. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you soon.
Hold up, friend. Do you love Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast.